They're not dying in battle. They're being found one by one. From Ali Khamenei to Ali Larijani, the shadows are thinning fast. Phones tracked, informants whisper, targets vanish in minutes. This isn't war as usual, it's a live kill chain. But here's the question, who's feeding the list? Since the United States and Israel launched their strikes on Iran in late February, something quieter and far more deliberate has been unfolding alongside the bombs and the missile fire. One by one, the men who built and ran the Islamic Republic are being removed, not in battle, in targeted, intelligence-driven kills. On the very first day of the war, Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei was struck and killed. Since then, the list has only grown. Military commanders, intelligence officers, ballistic missile specialists, and as recently as this past Friday, the spokesman for the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. So how is Israel finding these men and finding them fast enough to actually hit them?
The intelligence falls into two categories, where you actually have an informant on the ground who's passing in information to say this is the person's current location. And the second one is going to be some form of electronic tracking, whether it is through mobile phones or a regular phone or even satellite or drone surveillance. If you look at the Iran situation, there are lots of people on the ground who are reporting on each other.
And it is not just informants. Segell says Israel is pulling intelligence from a wide net.
Including Iran's neighbours, including the United States and various NATO sources. You can also monitor other countries' monitoring of Iran, for example, a communication between Russia and Iran. So it becomes a very, very big picture of what is going on.
One name that keeps coming up in intelligence circles is Saudi Arabia. After Iranian drones targeted Saudi oil fields years ago, Riyadh has been watching Tehran closely. Segell put it plainly.
Saudi Arabia is probably the largest gatherer of intelligence on what's happening in Iran, especially after Iran launched the drones against Saudi oil fields a few years ago.
But knowing where a target is means nothing unless you can act on it immediately. Mark Cancian, a retired US Colonel and senior advisor at the Center for Strategic and International Studies, broke down exactly why speed is everything in these operations.
You have to know where they are at a moment in time. You can't know where they are and then strike them 3 hours later because they'll be gone. You have to have a very short, what they call a kill chain, from the time that your sources are reporting that your target is at a certain point and the time you can actually strike.
Israel, Cancian says, has that capability. The United States, largely, does not, at least not at this pace, not in this terrain. Which is why the two allies have effectively carved up the country between them.
We are doing what the Pentagon calls the Southern Front, which is basically the coast and the southeast part of the country. And Israel is doing the north and west part of the country.
Every name removed from the top of the Iranian government raises the same uncomfortable question. Does this end the war faster, or does it make it worse? And so far, despite weeks of strikes, there are no visible signs of fracture inside what remains of the Iranian government. No public defections, no major uprisings, no faction publicly breaking from the others. A new supreme leader now sits in Tehran. Ayatollah Mojtaba Khamenei, son of the man Israel killed on the first day of this war, addressed the nation on Friday. His message was pointed.
Security must be taken away from internal and external enemies of the Islamic Republic.
Whether the men doing the killing in Tel Aviv read that as defiance or desperation may determine how long this war lasts. In the early hours of March 20th, Israeli airstrikes killed Ali Mohammed Naini, the spokesperson for Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, and the timing couldn't have been more striking. Just minutes before news of his death broke, Naini had been quoted in Iranian media boasting about continued missile production and warning of surprises ahead. The IRGC confirmed his death in a statement, calling it a criminal, cowardly terrorist attack by the American Zionist side at dawn.
Ali Mohammed Naini's transformative ideas and effective models in soft war will continue guiding the revolution's guards against arrogant powers.
The Israeli military, for its part, said the strike followed intelligence gathered by its Military Intelligence Directorate, describing Naini as a central figure in Iran's strategic messaging. So who was Ali Mohammed Naini? Not much personal information is publicly known about him. Naini had held the position of IRGC spokesperson since 2024, operating largely in the background, stepping into the spotlight during moments of heightened tension with the United States and Israel. Naini's role was strategic communications, shaping the IRGC's public narrative and projecting resolve in times of conflict. In what would turn out to be among his final public remarks, Naini was dismissive of American military claims and defiant about Iran's warfighting capabilities. Naini is the fourth senior Iranian figure killed in just the past few days. Before him, Secretary of Iran's Supreme National Security Council, Ali Larijani, head of Iran's Basij paramilitary forces, Brigadier General Gholamreza Soleimani, and Intelligence Minister Esmail Khatib were all eliminated in Israeli strikes. March 20th also brought confirmation of the deaths of Esmail Ahmadi, a senior Basij intelligence official described by the Guards-linked Tasnim website as one of the most important pillars of the Basij organization, and Mehdi Qureshi, a Revolutionary Guards aerospace commander killed in strikes on Isfahan. Israeli Defense Minister Israel Katz has signaled that more operations are coming, warning of further surprises. Yet, even as Israel presses ahead, cracks appear to be forming in its alliance with Washington. The war is now approaching the 3-week mark, and with Brent crude briefly touching $119 per barrel on March 19th, the conflict's economic shockwaves are being felt well beyond the Middle East. Israeli intelligence claims the strike was surgical, guided by Tehran insiders. Ali Larijani, the Revolutionary Guards architect, allegedly eliminated. Leaders vanish, military networks falter. The Strait of Hormuz trembles. Is Iran crumbling from within? Or is this just the first act of a larger, deadlier conflict?